Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. This is PBL Algebra Group 3. And so here we have the filler table for question 1. The facts are, you and your friend wants to start an online clothing business. So me and the friend are part of the first generation. So both of us have 4 new members as the second generation. And then each generation acquires 4 new members. And so that's how the list goes on. And then we have to find the difference between generations, find the ratio of second generation to the first generation, and the ratio of third generation to the second generation, and thus make a conclusion. As for ideas, we decided to draw a diagram representing the members from the first to the fourth generation, and then we find n terms for every generation based on the diagram to find the difference between generations. And then based on the terms of every generation, we will also find the ratio of second to first generation and the third to second generation. And lastly, draw conclusions based on the solutions. As for the learning issues that we face, firstly, we had to get to know how to represent the information given using diagrams, and then learn how to apply the sequences and series on the equation from Algebra Chapter 3, and then learn how to use formula Tn equals to AR to the power of n minus 1 to find n term from the sequence. And lastly, learn how to solve the question by using the information given. The main resources that we needed are the internet, the algebra reference book, and lastly, discussion with group members. The first question, draw a diagram representing the members from the first generation to the fourth generation. And here is the diagram. This box over here represents me and the friend from the mentioned question. So the 2 boxes here represents the first generation, and here represents the second generation, and then following on the third generation over here all the way, and lastly the fourth generation at the bottom.
Question 1b, based on the diagram, what is the difference between generations? Difference means minus operation. Between generations, we must find the n term for every generation. The n term for geometric series is given as Tn equal A times R power n minus 1, where A equal T1, which is first generation. So we get A equal 2 and R equal T2 divide T1, which is second generation divide first generation. So we get 8 divide 2 equal 4. The n term for first and second generation we already know here, which is T1 equal 2 and T2 equal 8. So we just find the n term for third and fourth generation using the formula. So we include the value into the formula, which is A times R power n minus 1. So we get TR equal 32 and T4 equal 128. So to find the difference between generation, first, second generation minus first generation, which is 8 minus 2 equals 6. Next, third generation minus second generation, which is 32 minus 8 equal 24. And the last, fourth generation minus third generation, which is 128 minus 32 equal 96. So this is the way how to find the difference between generations.
So the questions for 1B Roman 2, what is the ratio of the second generation with the first generation and the third generation with the second generation? So the solution is firstly T2 ratio T1. T2 is 8 and T1 is 2. Then simplify, get 4 ratio 1. And then T3 ratio T2. T3 is 32 and T2 is 8. Then simplify and get the same ratio, that is 4 ratio 1. And the last one for question 1, Roman 3. Based on I and I2, what is your conclusion? This generation is multiples by 4. Why? Because each number multiplied by 4 and we get the answer of 2, 8 and 32.
Hi, I will explain about the filler table for the second question. So the facts for the filler table, the first one, my brother is in secondary school. So the second one, he wants to buy an iPhone. The third one, the iPhone costs Rm 999 ringgit. So the fourth one, he saved Rm 150 for the first month. So the last one, the fifth, I gave him Rm 50 ringgit for each month thereafter. So that's the facts for the second question. So the second one is the ideas for the filler table. So the first one, list down the total amount your brother will save in 2 years. The second one, determine the difference of total amount saved up of each month. The third one, find the ratio of the second month and the first month, and the third month and the second month. So the fourth one, draw a conclusion for the question. So that's the ideas for the filler table. So I'll continue to the third one, which is the learning issues. The third thing is the learning issues. So there's 4 things I will tell you. So the first one, how to list down the total amount of money saved up in 2 years. So the second one, what is the difference between each month? The third one, what is the ratio of the second month and the first month, and the third month and the second month? So the fourth one, what is the conclusions? So the last one is the resource needed. I found all the things in filler table from internet. Second, from algebra reference book, and the third one, we discussed with the group members.
So I'm gonna show how to solve question number 2. So we're gonna use the Sn equals to n divided by 2, 2a plus n minus 1b for the formula. The n is 4, the a is 150, and the d is 50. So masukkan the numbers in the formula and then calculate, and you will get 900 ringgit. The next question is, based on A, what is the difference between each month? The formula is Tn equals to A plus n minus 1b. T1 is 150. To find T2, use the formula given. Insert the 2 in the n. Masukkan 2 dalam n, and you will get 242. Using the formula given also, find T3. And you will get 250 for T3. T4 using the formula given also, and we will get 300 for T4. Sum up every amount, 150, 200, 250, and 300, and we will get the differences between each month is 50 ringgit.
Okay, from the second question, B2. What is the ratio of the second month with the first month, the third month with the second month? So soalan ni, this question, we need to find the ratio. So just write ratio second over first and third over second. So the second ratio from the B1 question is 200. So the the second month is 200 and the first month is 150. So just write 200 over 150, so equals to 4 over 3. So the ratio for the second month and the first month is 3/4, 3 to 4. So for the ratio, the third month and the fourth month, third month and the second month, just write this as yang tadi tu, 250 over 200 equals to 5 over 4. 250 ni sebab third month is 250, the second month is 200. So it's equals to 5 over 4, and the third over second ratio is the third month and the over second month, the ratio is 4 to 5, 4/5.
So moving on to the last question, which is question 2, B3 Roman. So we know that from the question, the iPhone costs 999. So I'm just going to write down back the formula. Write it down. And we know AN is the nth term, A is the first term, and D is the common difference. So let's say we put 50, for example. So I'm just going to substitute it back into the formula. And we will get 850. So that is not enough for to buy the iPhone. So let's say we put 80. So substitute it to the formula. So we will get 1000. So that is enough, has exceeded the price of the iPhone. So in conclusion, after 18 months, my brother will have enough money to buy iPhone, which costs 999 ringgit. So that's all from us. Thank you.